Hello, welcome back to Gold Coin. I'm Kathy Burgos, and today I am, of course, as you know, always excited to share a great topic with you today. So, this this podcast YouTube video is called "It Tastes So Good." Now, we're going to be talking about food. This is going to be going in the Food Palate Series. I already have two videos in there. Please listen to them. I think you will be greatly informed and really think, that it's good because it's something that we can all benefit from when we're learning about why we do what we do, how we ended up where we are, and how we can be successful in our weight loss journey. If you're listening to this podcast, most likely you are on a weight loss journey or you are considering your health and your well being. And so I'm glad to have you here today. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is because I just remembered when I first started. Now, I've been trying to lose weight for many years and I wasn't successful. I tried many diets. I have even a podcast YouTube video about MetaFast. I tried that. I did a lot of different things throughout the years, and it wasn't until a couple years ago, actually 4 years ago, that I really just decided, you know what, I'm tired. I'm really tired of being morbidly obese. And if that's you, listen. And maybe you're not quite there. Maybe you're like, well, I want to lose some weight, but food tastes so good. It's not going to hurt me. I could stand to lose a couple pounds maybe, but you know what? I'll start Monday or maybe next year or, after my birthday or, after a holiday, they're going to have this great stuff at this party this weekend and, then I'll start. It's funny because I had, Facebook has like the memories that come up, and I had one like 10 years ago this day. I had, somebody had wrote to me somebody I knew back then had said, "Hey, we'll start Monday." And it was so funny because they didn't say what we were going to start. And so I commented, "Hey, what were we going to start?" And she goes, "Oh, probably exercising or something," because I was always trying to lose weight, like even 10 years ago, and one of the things when I really decided, I didn't go to a doctor that gave me a plan and a meal plan, and I didn't go to therapy or anything like that. So I kind of was just like on my own. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and so I think I was on Instagram and I had put in some hashtags like lose weight or different stuff, and I found a couple women that were on a journey, and I seen some before and after pictures, and I was like, wow, they lost a lot of weight. They look really good. And then I was watching some of their stuff, their stories, and they were cooking and they were saying, okay, well, try this recipe, try that recipe. And I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. I'm not alone. I can just watch their stories. I can get information from them. They're putting recipes and all that. So I, began following them. And little by little, I really began to admire them because they actually had the discipline and the motivation and the results. And it was really good for me because I was just starting out. I didn't have anybody, you know, that I knew immediately that was on a journey like mine of trying to lose weight. I needed extreme weight loss. I actually was morbidly obese, 5'3", 350 pounds. I could barely walk up the stairs in my own home. I was really miserable at that point. So when I saw some of these women, I could relate to them because some of them had the same kind of stats as I did as far as weight and height, and then I seen that they had lost weight, and I was like, wow, okay, And I think that happens to a lot of us. We may not want to reach out immediately. It's a little embarrassing maybe to tell people, hey, I'm on this weight loss journey. Can you help me? Can you keep me accountable? Do you understand? You might not think your friends and family understand, and maybe they don't. So then when you go on social media, you may find a community, like a weight loss community, the bariatric babes, or, people, however you're trying to lose weight, there's a group of people that most likely are on the same journey that you are on. So You become like this little group of people or big group of people who are all exchanging ideas and, funny times and bad times. And it can be pretty good. So I started off like that, and I said, okay, well, she's doing this, and and so the reason why I was obese was because I didn't have good eating habits. Let's just establish that right now. And if you are morbidly obese or overweight, chances are that you don't eat well either. It's not probably that you're not active so much, or maybe you aren't. I was not active. I had to sit down at a desk job. Um, I wasn't one of those big people who are like, man, I'm active. I go running, I jog, and I eat my veggies. No, that wasn't me. That was not me. I did not have activity, and I ate whatever I wanted to, whenever I wanted to, and how I wanted to, and it showed. It was very evident that I had no self control when it came to that, and I was just, it was like free for all. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, I looked up to people who I perceived were making a change. And if you really want to make a change long term, and I'm not just saying for a moment in time, or maybe you've regained weight and you're like, you know what, I need to get back up. I need to get back on this. I need to get it together. And so I began to see the stuff that they would buy. And some of them were actually advertising for protein shakes and protein bars. And I'm not going to mention any company names or names of people. And, they would say, hey, you know what? If you use this name, my name, you'll get a discount. And, it's pizza, muffins, brownies, cookies, protein drinks, you name it. Even meat. I mean, it was everything you could think of. Powders, pills, teas, you name it. It was every kind of food, drink, product. And I'm not against anybody getting free stuff. Hey, any clothing stores out there? I'd rather get clothes and shoes and makeup than food and drinks any day of the week. Or, there's chips. I mean, anything. And some of them would say, hey, yes, I do get some proceeds from this. Some of them would say, no, I don't get any money from this. I just get free product. And they would review the products. And it was so enticing to me because I was a person who ate cookies and chips and muffins and every kind of food imaginable that tasted good to my taste buds, And so when I would see them reviewing these products, I would be like, oh, I need to get that. They're successful. That's what they do. So that's what I need to do. That was in the very beginning. And, I was just, and most of the products were pretty expensive for me. I did not regularly shop with very expensive food items. I did not have that available to me really, where I wanted to go and get the most expensive things out there. So I didn't end up buying a lot of the stuff. Some of the things I did do were granola bars and protein shakes. And so I noticed as my journey kept going that I was, and I have also a good talk about stalling and plateauing, which I do not really believe in, as far as unless you're just like, hey, I totally quit on myself and I am stalled and plateaued. Okay, that's a different story. But if you watch the video or listen to the podcast, you see what I'm talking about. Not somebody who just had an off day or, whatever. I go more into detail in that series. So if you want to watch that one on help, I'm stalled and I'm plateaued, please watch it. So, I began to notice that sometimes my progress wasn't so great. And I began to look at what I was eating. And a lot of the food that I was eating was processed food. But I figured, hey, it said low fat. It said, it said that it didn't have this and it didn't have that. And it was good for you. And it had high protein. And so all the marketing stuff that's said. So a lot of companies take advantage of people who are unhappy about their weight. If you look at one of the top killers in, the world, in the United States, it's obesity. Yeah, look it up. It's up there. And so marketers and companies, big companies, they know that. You know, where I live in Southern California, out there is these huge plants out here. I found this out because I was just reading this Newsweek article on something totally different. And there's plants where there's chemists and engineers, and their job is to manufacture chemicals that taste like food, like sweets. They even print steaks out of printers, okay? And they have to get that taste just like as if you were eating a steak that you grilled on the grill. The fat taste and the taste of meat or whatever. And so this is their job, and they get paid really good money, and this is their whole goal, is to manufacture chemicals so that it'll taste good to us, the consumer, and we'll buy it. Instead of buying the real thing, we'll buy that processed food. And also, those chemicals have where it'll cause us to be addicted to it. We'll crave it. It'll do all kinds of things to our bodies, to the chemistry in our brain, and it's true. And so here I was, you know, on my little weight loss journey. I'm ready to go. Hey, I'm going to lose all this weight. I'm not going to be morbidly obese anymore. And I was looking up to quite a few people, and I noticed here and there little things, like some of them would totally fall off the grid. They would disappear. And then when they would come back, they'd be like, oh, I kind of had to take a break from social media. You know how people say that, right? And, I kind of fell off a little bit and I gained some weight and, whatever. Or some of them would just be right there in your face, like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm just going to eat whatever I want. Don't judge me. And of course, you have like half of the people are like, oh no, I know it's hard. Don't worry, get back up. And the other half was like, see, you hypocrite. So that was like what I began to see. And I remember I was looking up to quite a few people, and there was a couple in particular that they were pretty big salespeople for some of these companies, And years later, I see them now, and they're not any longer. And I wonder, like, oh, I wonder why. So what happened to me about 2 years ago is I decided that I wasn't going to buy granola bars and I wasn't going to buy protein drinks anymore because I didn't like the way that my body felt. And it left me with, I noticed I had cravings, and I noticed it didn't fulfill me. And I was like, you know what? There has to be something else that I can do. And I started reading and I started researching and I started just educating myself. And I said, you know what? I don't want to just lose weight for the month. I don't want to just lose weight to get into that lower size. I don't want to just lose weight so that I can look better, or I can go here and go there and not have to wear a seatbelt extender. I want to do this for life, for a lifetime. And I hope that you do too. And you might say, like, girl, loosen up. Let's just have fun. You know what? I do have fun, and you can have fun, and you can still enjoy all those things. But what I want to talk to you about is eating real food as much as possible. I haven't completely, I don't think anybody, I mean, most of our food has some kind of ingredient to keep it from going bad or something like that. If you look at the back of your labels, and if most of the words you cannot pronounce and you don't know what they are, maybe you shouldn't eat it. I know for myself, I have probably cut down probably to 75%. And I really want to say that contributes to my success today. And you could say, well, I exercise. Well, I've said it before, and there's been so many people that say it. You can't outrun your fork, you know? And and I'm talking really to the individual who is just starting out, or even the person who is restarting. And the reason why I say this is because now that I am 4 or 5 years out, I can incorporate the desserts and the yummy treats, even the ones that I make by scratch, not that I bought, or even if I did buy them. I can incorporate them into my menu and have them now and still be in a calorie deficit and still lose weight or still maintain where I'm at. But in the beginning, I didn't have that down. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have my body chemistry working in a beautiful way. I didn't have my mind, spirit, and body all working together. I still wanted to be the old Kathy who could still eat the stuff that tasted good. And it's almost like I wanted to eat the same, but I was trying to like fool myself. Oh, well, this company makes it, and they make it low fat, and they make it for people who want to lose weight, and it has a lot of protein, and you know what, and they're going to make me an ambassador, and they're going to send me free food, and I don't even have to do anything, but just review their product, and and I wanted to eat the same kind of food that I had always been eating, that had contributed to me to being where I was, but yet it had a label, a marketing label, that it was low fat, gluten free. It was this, it was that, it was, and it was like, it was just a facade, because I had to think about it. I'm not always going to be, I'm going to be 65, 75, 85. Do I still want to be ordering this expensive food and eating processed food? Or do I want to be nurturing my food with the best product? Am I worth it? If you can buy these products and spend that kind of money, then you can certainly go to the market and buy real ingredients and make it yourself. And I want to really bring this home, because I see so many new people online, and they're like, oh man, there's this new product out, and they came out with a new flavor. Oh my God, you guys, you got to try it. And it's so enticing for the new person, or even the person who's regained and they want to get back on. They're like, wow, you know what, maybe I'll just stock my shelves with all of this stuff and I'll be okay. But when the hard times hit, those products have chemicals, and they make you crave more eventually, and you might just say, you know what, I'm gonna grab for that regular bag of chips, instead of that one that supposedly, and the law for food, they don't have to actually put the exact macros that are on there, so you have to really pay attention to the fat, the fiber, and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm talking about, if you're serious, if you're like lifestyle, if you're like lifetime, you're like, you know what, I want to change, I don't want to stay the same. Maybe it's too heavy for you. Maybe you're like, okay, you know what, you're tripping, girl, I want to do what I want to do. You will come back to this, because in the beginning I thought that was to the extreme as well. I was like, I would hear people talking like I am now, and I'd be like, no, I'm good. I want to, like they say, have my cake and eat it too. And I didn't really realize that my lifestyle had to change. My eating really had to change. The way that I looked at nutrition. And like I said, I'm a couple years out. I can incorporate things here and there and still stay. But if you haven't already established, a good nutrition plan, then you can veer off really fast and really quick. And then you find yourself depressed, upset, like, what the heck just happened? I've been doing so good, and one weekend just caused me to go into 3 months of eating horribly. No, you don't have to. Because once you establish in your food palette and your taste buds and your body gets used to certain nutrients, I'm telling you, like I've said before in some of my podcasts and videos, I've went on cruises for a week and came back, and my body was like, can we please go back to our menu? Your body wants you to feed it nutritious. And when it's used to it, it's going to cry out for it. It's going to be like, hey, where's our chicken and bell pepper? Where's our salad? Where's our good food? I don't want to say good or bad food. I know I've always said that, but where's my nutrition? Where is it? And you have to listen to your body. Your body's going to tell you. Your taste buds and your emotions tell you something different. And that's why I talk about, with my coaching, I really, really, when I coach somebody, I talk to them about what they're feeling, what they're going through, I get in there with them, because that can throw you off. If your heart, mind, and your body are not working synchronized in harmony, you're going to eventually kind of run into some things where you're like, okay, something has to give here. Why am I not successful? Why am I not getting the results that I want to get? And so that's why I wanted to talk about it, because, and I'm not saying, hey, if you're an ambassador, if you're getting stuff, if you're enjoying it, then by all means. But if you ever come to that place where it's not satisfying you anymore and you notice you're not getting the results consistently, month after month, year after year, and there's going to come a time where you're going to stop wanting to be in a calorie deficit and losing, and when you're going to want to maintain. And are you going to be able to maintain with all of that processed junk inside of you? You know, it's just, it's a decision that you have to make. And I'm here because I made that decision, and it was not easy for me. Because, like I said, 20 years of habits of eating whatever, whenever, and however much got me to morbid obesity. And I see so many people, not young in age so much, but young in their weight loss journey, and or maybe they've been doing it for a while, but they just keep going in this vicious circle. Every other month, they're like, ah, man, I blew it again this month. No, you don't want to go on like that forever. There's times that, yeah, like I said, I can incorporate, when it's my birthday, if I like those pink cookies that they get from the, Mexican market or whatever. But I know that I know how to incorporate that into my macros, into my meal plan, where it doesn't throw me off. And I'm eating like 5 pink cookies every hour for like the next 6 weeks, right? Because I've learned and developed a concept to do that. And that's what I want to share with you, because you can do it. You don't have to fall off every week or every month or every year, or come back in 3 years and be like, man, you know what? I should have done it. And I just talk about, because we're so influenced by people. And sometimes, now that I look back, some of those people that I looked up to, they were only a couple months or maybe 6 months or a year ahead than I was. And I looked at them as veterans, as people who, like, man, they had it all together, and nobody's perfect. Nobody ever, is just on all the time. But I realized who I didn't want to be like and who I did want to be like. And it didn't have anything to do with the outward appearance. It didn't have anything to do, it had to do with what I saw, the determination, and I saw the stamina of somebody who said, you know what, I'm not perfect, but you know what, I'm trying. I'm going to do everything that I can. And I'm never going to steer anybody away that may not be beneficial for them. And so that's the person that I wanted to become. And that's why I've chosen to do what I do, because, I could just say nothing. And so many times I want to comment on people and say, like, honey, you're not stalled. Or I want to say, man, stop ordering those cardboard pizzas, babe. Just make your own, but I don't, because I said, you know what, I'll do it in this forum. So it's just like out there to whoever wants to listen, because, it's important. It's important to me. People are important to me. People who are on a weight loss journey have been through so much already. And to see them struggle when they don't have to is like a heartbreaker for me. It really is, because I was there so many times, just sitting on the edge of my bed, just looking out and thinking, man, why can't I do this? How many more times am I going to fail? And so if I can help anybody, I would say start eating real food now. If you need help, check out my website. I'll help you. My plans are very inexpensive. There's people who charge a lot of money, and hey, that's up to them. But I know what works, and I know that sometimes people are all different. We're all different. I don't have a judgment towards you if you're just have a cupboard full of all the stuff that you can get. No, because I did too. But I realized for the long term, it wasn't gonna, and I knew. I'm telling you, I was 350 when I got down to 190 or 200, 190. I thought I had made it. I say it all the time. I was so happy with myself and my progress, but deep down inside, I knew there was more. I knew that I had to keep going for me. It didn't matter if people said, you look beautiful, you look great, don't lose any more weight. I knew for me, and for you. And if you're comfortable or you're ready to restart and you're ready, you're saying, you know what, I need help. I need that support. Keep listening to the podcast. Keep watching my YouTube videos. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and get the help that way. If you're not ready to get a coach, I wasn't. I watched my coach for a long time before I hired her because I was skeptical. I was like, I ain't giving my money, girl. I'm buying me some shoes with that money, you know. But no, I finally realized that I needed help. I needed help, and she was able to help me, and she still does, you know. And it's something that I had to admit. I didn't know it all, you know. And if I can help somebody get further along faster than it took me, I would love to do that, because and you're going to get a lot of knowledge just listening to what I put out anyways, so it's going to help you if you just apply it. It's all up to you. And don't go throw everything away if you already bought a whole, shipment or whatever. I'm not saying that. But you can start little by little by little. You can start making your own stuff. And I'm not a kitchen person. I'm not a cook person. I say that all the time. Some of you are excellent cooks. Some of you, oh my goodness, you can make anything taste delicious. I wish I was like that, because my meals would taste a lot better, because I can't eat cardboard stuff. I can't eat stuff that doesn't taste good. And so I have to do all this stuff to try to make it taste good. But some of you are really good at that, and that's your advantage. You can make pure ingredients taste so delicious. You don't have to buy something from a company that's made it for you, because they're telling you this is what's going to help you. And even with this COVID-19 right now, a lot of companies, a lot of stuff stopped shipping. What are you going to do? Can you imagine? You'll go through serious withdrawals if you're so used to food and processed food and chemical, engineered food. And then like COVID-19 happened, and like say these companies like shut down, and they can't produce things. And there you are like, man, I got to eat real food now. What am I going to do? Or I don't even like the food that they have available at the market, but you're forced to eat it. I remember I used to like chicken McNuggets a lot. And I hadn't had one for a long time. We went on a road trip, and that's all there was. Like in the middle, we're in the middle of, I think we're on our way to Vegas or something. And I was like, oh, just give me some chicken McNuggets. It won't hurt me. And I took a bite, and I was like, it didn't taste like I remembered it, put it that way. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could taste whatever they put in the batter or whatever. And I was like, wow. Because I had already gotten used to making my own, and using the ingredients that I knew was in there. And that's what's going to happen to you. You'll get used to, like, there's foods that you probably love and associate with such, you have great memories with. And you might try it after you start eating, and I'm not saying, hey, I'm everyday vegetables and, on top of everything, but I'm telling you, I'm 75 to 80%. So I know now when I eat something that's not, doesn't have the purest ingredients, I can taste it immediately. And I'm like, ugh, and I'm like, oh, wow, I've changed. And my body doesn't want that anymore. My body doesn't crave that anymore, you know? And now I make banana bread, and I make what's that other dessert? I forgot already. I just made it, peach cobbler, and I didn't use any sugar at all. I know how. Now I'm learning how to cook, and I'm learning how to bake. And some of you already have that, and oh my gosh, you have half the battle won already, and you don't mind. I mean, sometimes we're on the go. That's why I meal prep, because sometimes I'm busy, 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 and I don't have time to cook daily, and I can just grab it and go. Some people like to cook daily, but eat real food. Start now. This is just an introduction to it, but I just wanted to put it out there, especially if you're new. You know what? Don't get caught up in seeing all these advertisements and all these people that you're looking up to, and you think that they're doing so great. Really look, really look, and don't judge. I'm not saying judge somebody and start yelling and pointing fingers. Hey, you better stop, buying those chips and trying to get me to buy them. No, but really pay attention, you know, because you want to get advice or follow, a person's journey that you really see what you want for you, and that could be many different things. but pay attention and eat real food as much as you can. I got to end because, I only want this to be 30 minutes, but I have so much more to share with you. Check out my website, check out my story, and I love you. I think you're amazing, you're awesome, and you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm telling you, if I can do it, so can you. I'll talk to you next time.